If you're new here, my name is Favor. I'm a musician, and if you're not subscribed yet, please hit subscribe. I just wanted to talk about AI today because I think it's obviously a hot topic right now. It's been for a while, but it's really changing our world. And I, as a musician, I see it seeping in to the industry, and it's it looks quite scary to imagine what the future would be like. I think it's quite a nerve-wracking time for a lot of musicians, considering how the industry is going to look in the future. Because now you've got softwares where you can just type in a prompt and produce a song within minutes, and these softwares are very, very advanced. So it's, you know, where once you would need to go to a studio and, pay a producer or produce it yourself, you now have these softwares where you can just type in a prompt, like I said, and produce something or write something. And they're very, very good, and obviously they will get better. It's early days, which is kind of the scary thing, that these softwares are so advanced and it's just early days. But I was really thinking about how it's going to affect musicians, because obviously, it's not just the music that people are losing their jobs or will lose their jobs because of AI. But specifically, like I said, as a musician, um, I think it's quite a nerve-wracking time, and I think it's going to be quite a decisive time for a lot of musicians, because it's going to force us to think about why we started in the first place, you know, and to think about how we are going to be able to navigate this new normal. Because the truth is, the industry is already saturated, with TikTok, and other social media. Just in general, with the streaming era, the industry has changed so much. Before, you used to have to go to stores to physically buy records, and now you can just stream it anywhere. And now, even with AI, it makes it even more saturated, because it means that anyone can make music, so to speak, and you don't need to be trained or have this skill, because, like I said, you can just tap a button. So it's going to be very, very saturated, even more so. And I think it's going to be a turning point where a lot of musicians are going to have to reconsider a lot of things and really think about, what am I in this for? Because I think a lot of people think that, I think a lot of people have the mindset of, I want to be famous, or they're doing it for a reason other than the fact of really loving it. Loving music. Simple as that. And I think without that kind of deep love for the art, because it's not just about the finished product, it's not even about where it takes you, if you make it. It's about the craft. It's about the person you become during the process of creating, and the struggles, the ups and downs. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I think what these softwares and what AI is now doing is skipping that part of having to do the hard work, and the part where you actually grow and you develop as an artist because of your skills, because of the process it takes to put out a song. And so a lot of artists are going to have to think about, what am I actually in this for? Because if you don't have that genuine love for it, you're not going to survive. That's just the truth. And I've had to face these considerations myself. And I know that my love for music goes beyond the accolades or the notoriety that it comes with. It's always been about being able to function as a human being. You know, music is so integral to who I am, and I can't imagine life without it. So within all of this almost sort of storm that's happening in this new normal, I sort of have a sense of peace, being that, you know, I have a long journey in my career, and I've got a long way to go still. But I think the reason why I'm still here and the reason why I'm still making music is because I have this genuine love for it. And I've come to the place where I know that no matter what the future looks like in terms of getting to where I want to be, I will always love music, and I will always be involved in music and create regardless. And like I say, I think you need to have that kind of level of love for this art, because if you don't, you won't be able to survive, you know? And yes, you can just use AI and produce something really quick and very polished. But at the end of the day, I think the authenticity will always show. Because when it comes to this time where the industry is so saturated and you can't really tell what's real and what's fake, I think it's the things that are going to be the most authentic that are going to be the ones to survive. Because, you know, art is not meant to be polished, art is not meant to be perfect. You know, art is a process, art is a becoming. And I think that will always show in the final product. The imperfections are what make us human, what make us artists. It's not about AI. And I think the people that are really going to shine are the ones who have a genuine love for it. Because I don't think AI can replace authenticity. So artists will also be faced with the decision whether to just succumb to AI. And like I say, it's early days. I don't know what it's actually going to look like, how far it's going to go, or how the industry is really going to change with AI. But I think it's really important to still practice the craft of being a musician, learning how to produce, learning how to become a better singer or songwriter or whatever part you play in your craft, despite all of this. And not to just give up. So I say all this to say that, you know, it is a very worrying time, but I think we really just have to go back to our love for the art and really ask ourselves, why did I start making music? Why did I start creating art? And it goes beyond just the music industry, because obviously AI is infiltrating other parts of life. Something I'm finding out with how the world is changing with AI is that I'm having to make the conscious decision and effort to do things more manually, because it is what makes us human, you know? And I think if we lose what makes us human and the manual things that we do as humans, then we lose part of ourselves, we lose part of our souls. And a lot of people are going to have to reconsider, and some people won't have the strength to keep going and, you know, keep creating. That's just a fact. But I think we really need to ask ourselves the question of, why did I start? And if I have a genuine love for this, regardless of what happens in the future. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me on this walk. I thought I'd just get out of the house and have a change of environment. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. I'll be interested to know what you think as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.